BTS News Today. The whole world suddenly fell silent when an amateur video recorded a shocking moment. BTS's Jimin appeared to pick up Jungkook at a military location unaccompanied by anyone. Without a staff escort, without the presence of other BTS members, and even without notice from the agency, Park Jimin suddenly appeared with casual clothes, but a facial expression that looked tense and full of meaning. The seemingly simple incident immediately became the subject of global discussion. Soldiers from all over the world wondered, why did Jimin do it alone? What happened to Jungkook? Is something happening behind the scenes? A few hours later, the question was finally answered in a shocking live broadcast uploaded by Jimin himself on Weverse. With a calm voice, but a look in his eyes that implied deep emotion, Jimin finally opened his voice. He not only explained why he picked Jungkook up alone, but also revealed the human side of their relationship that has rarely been seen in public. Many of you have asked why I was alone at that time. Why is there no staff? Why not wait for the official schedule from the agency? I can't be silent any longer, because I know you love us, and you deserve to know, Jimin said in a broadcast that was watched by millions in less than 15 minutes. His voice sounded quivering, and every now and then he paused to take a deep breath, holding back the emotions that were clearly simmering within him. Jimin admitted that a few days before the pickup incident, he received a voice message from Jungkook that left him unable to sleep for 2 consecutive nights. I'm not going to say specifically what it is, because it's too personal to share. But I can tell you that Jungkook's voice in the message sounded like someone who wasn't doing well. Not because of the physical, but the inner, said Jimin while lowering his head. He added that since the beginning of his military service, Jungkook was known as one of the strongest members physically and mentally. But even the strongest have a fragile point. And Jimin, as one of the people who knew Jungkook best, could feel it just from the sound. He always tries to be strong for everything. For other members, for the army, even for himself. But sometimes, when you hold back too much, when you never show tears, you just get lonely in the crowd, said Jimin. That day, unbeknownst to the manager or the agency, Jimin drove himself to Jungkook's place of work. He brings only one thing: himself. There was no plan, no official protocol, just a strong impulse from his heart that he could not ignore. Sometimes we have to stop being stars, stop being idols, and start being ordinary people who care. I just want him to know that he's not alone. I want him to see a face he knows, someone who will be silent to hear it, or just sit next to him without saying anything, Jimin said, making many soldiers cry in silence when they heard it. Upon arriving at the location, Jungkook was shocked. He didn't even say anything when Jim hugged him tightly. Jimin did not divulge all the details of their conversation, but he said that the moment was one of the most honest and human he had ever experienced with his youngest sister. When she cries, I cry too. Not because I was sad, but because I could feel how heavy a burden he had carried himself all this time. Maybe you don't know, but Jungkook isn't just the magne. He is a person who often carries expectations without realizing it, Jimin said while staring at the camera. After the video was circulated, the hashtags #Jimin for Jungkook and #Protect Jungkook immediately trending on various platforms. Soldiers from around the world expressed gratitude and emotion because the relationship between BTS members remains strong even in difficult situations. Many say that Jimin's actions are not only proof of love between friends, but also a vivid example of deep empathy. Many people see us as icons, but the truth is that we are also fragile. We're tired. We miss. We are afraid of losing our way. But we have each other, and we have you, Jimin said at the end of the broadcast, with a small smile. As if to calm the hearts of millions of fans whose hearts were hurt to hear this story. Jimin's action was a kind of reminder that not everything has to be handled by the system. Sometimes all you need is the presence of someone close to you. And in a world full of imagery and strict protocols, such a small act feels revolutionary. Some fans even compared the moment to various other events in the past, when BTS members supported each other in silence. But this time it feels different. This time, the action takes place in the middle of the draft, when all eyes are on how the idols face a reality far from the glitter of the stage. Jimin proved that he is not just a performer, but a loyal and sensitive friend. He understands that sometimes it is not words that are needed, but the courage to come when others need it most. Not a few soldiers also felt that Jimin's explanation changed their perspective on the lives of idols. That behind the smiles and beautiful songs that are performed, there are people with hearts and wounds that are not always visible. After seeing Jimin's broadcast, I cried. Not out of pity for Jungkook, but because I realized that true love really exists. Sometimes love doesn't speak. Simply present, wrote a fan from Brazil on Twitter. From South Korea, a well-known music journalist also made a touching comment. What Jimin did is an example that BTS is not just a music group. They're family. And a small act like that can give hope to many people out there who feel alone. He wrote. HYB's agency released an official statement a few days later, stating that Jimin's actions were done of his own free will and did not violate applicable military protocol. They respect the artist's personal decision and are grateful for the attention of the army, who has always been faithful to look after and support the members in difficult times. This statement also reinforces that the relationship between BTS members is not controlled by the company, but by mutual trust and affection that has grown over the years. What Jimin did was not part of a promotional or publicity strategy, but a sincere act that arose from conscience. Days passed, but the moment remained. Even today, many fans still make fan art, poetry, and video edits to remember the day when Jimin came as a silent savior. The day when he transformed the sadness that might have silenced Jungkook into a warm embrace that gave strength. Jimin closed the broadcast with a simple, yet powerful sentence: "If you feel alone, I hope you know that someone out there may be walking towards you. Don't give up." Sometimes love comes in silence. And that's Jimin, a singer, an artist, a friend. And on that day, an angel walked alone to pick up someone he loved deeply, not out of obligation, but because his heart couldn't stay still. In a world that is often too noisy with imagery and achievements, Jimin reminds us that the greatest courage sometimes comes from small acts done in silence. And true love? Perhaps its form is a simple car stopped in front of a military gate, and a long hug without many words. That was the surprising reason why Jimin picked Jungkook up alone. Because when the world doesn't know what to do, someone who really cares will show up, without even being asked.